You ever catch yourself scrolling, feeling like crap, and still not able to stop? That's not weakness. That's programming. And today we're unplugging from the performance and plugging back into your power. So grab a cuppa because today we're going to fill up on a whole lot of freedom and a ton of liberation. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Sip Tea with me. I'm your host, Lisa Schoenthal. Think of me as that fun and inspirational auntie or sister you always wish you'd had. This is the space where we hang out, brew up meaningful conversations about health, wealth, relationships, and travel because life is too short not to live with purpose, passion, and abundance. If you're ready to chase your dreams, find your balance, and make a massive impact, you're at the right table. I'll be sharing real stories, life hacks, and epic wisdom to keep you mindful, energized, and connected. It's all about inspiring and empowering you. So grab your favorite cuppa as we spill the tea on how to create a life that's transformational, empowering, and authentically you, 100%. Let's drink to that and get started.
Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Sip Tea with me. I'm Lisa, and I'm your hostess, formational guide, and authenticity advocate. I am here to cheerlead for you. And this episode 24 of the Summer Sovereignty series, Digital Sovereignty, Stop Scrolling, Start Leading Yourself, is my intention with this is to help you reclaim your power and to help you live your truth. I mean, we've talked about reclaiming your sovereignty at the solstice. That was series 1. We've talked about taking your mind back from unconscious programming. That was last week's Summer Sovereignty series 2. And now it's time to reclaim your digital power, because if you don't control your attention, then someone else does. And trust me, they're not using it to make you powerful. All right, you're probably asking, what the heck does she mean by digital sovereignty? Digital sovereignty means that you decide what you consume, how you engage, and when you choose to unplug. But right now, most people are unknowingly giving away their attention, their energy, and identity every time they pick up their phone. Let's just go ahead and call it what it is. You're not the customer, you're the product. Ever think of it that way? I'm going to say it again. You are not the customer. You are the product. Social platforms are built to keep you scrolling, doubting, comparing, and craving more, while feeding you a version of reality that they've curated. Guess what? Just for you. Your algorithm isn't broken. It's just working against your evolution. Again, your algorithm, it isn't broken. It's just working against your evolution. So how does this manipulation work? Okay, here's what's happening. Algorithms, they track your behavior and they feed you more of what you engage with. Your data is sold to advertisers, governments, influencers, and marketers. Every tap, every pause, every click, and every listen teaches the system how to manipulate your feed and your feelings. That means if you linger on fear, you'll get more fear. If you click on insecurity, well, get ready for a shame spiral. If you talk about a topic near your phone, guess what? It's listening. That's not paranoia. It's actually strategy. Here's a big old mic drop for you. If you're feeling drained, divided, or doubtful, it might not be you. It might be what you're being fed or what you are choosing to consume. There is a huge psychological cost. This system was designed to exploit your nervous system. It's a comparison culture. It triggers imposter syndrome. Or on social media, we're looking at curated lives, not real lives. We're looking at curated lives that make us question our own worth. We have endless swiping. It creates a level of loneliness, of disconnection, and self-doubt. It also promotes constant performance. It kills your intuition and your inner peace. Just as easily as I shared all 4 of those things, we can actually turn each one of those things around and find ways on the internet and through socials that, if we consume properly, allow us to feel the opposite, right? We can feel inspired. We can feel engaged. We can feel motivated. We can feel like getting up and going for something. When we look at someone being really empowered in their own truth, that inspires us to do the same. So it just depends on how we're looking at this, because you weren't made to compare yourself to thousands of strangers a day. That's not growth. That's self-abandonment in disguise, and we need to get ourselves back. While we're on this subject, I want to talk about dating apps. And we will definitely talk about this in a greater depth because I am all about relationships. I wrote that book, The Men We Meet, which was all about relationships. But I just want to really touch on this in a digital way. So dating apps are one of the most sneaky forms of energetic manipulation we have actually normalized. They are gamified, they're addictive, and they're designed to keep you swiping, not to help you build a soul level connection. So what does all that mean? We actually get a dopamine hit every time we get a match. It's just like when we were talking about our likes or our comments on our social media. There's a part of us that actually gets a hit, like we have a little bit of a drug or sugar or anything that makes us feel good and kicks our dopamine in. Burnout. We get burnout from superficial conversations and ghosting. We put all this energy into these conversations or into building what we think is the foundations of our possible dream future. And then we just realize that these were just conversations that went nowhere. They suddenly disappeared when something better came along. Maybe we're on both ends of that, right? Decision fatigue from endless options. Okay, this is our whole entire world right now. I was just feeling into this morning when I was making a whole bunch of different decisions around my flying, around what to pack, because I have a trip tonight. My sound healing course, I was like, do I do that or do I go to my other class that I have scheduled? What do I choose? How do I do this? Anyway, we can only make so many decisions a day. And when we're swiping, we definitely have decision fatigue from all those options. And well, of course, back to those algorithms that don't reflect energy or soul resonance. They reflect patterns and profit. So just think about if you've been on a dating app, and this is going to be a kind of a cheesy example, but let's say you're on a dating app and you're only looking at super hot guys with tattoos. So you swipe and you're like, wow, that guy's really hot. And he's got his shirt off and he's got a couple tattoos. And you stop and you actually linger around and you look at that. And maybe you even read his profile. Well, guess what? The next 5 guys you see are going to be sort of the same, either the same look or the same type of profile. Not that there's anything wrong with hot guys with tattoos. I mean, I'm all for that. But it has to really resonate with you, but it doesn't allow you to make a decision because it just keeps feeding you based on the time that you've spent there. Dating apps don't reward authenticity in any way, shape, or form. They reward addiction. We'll go deeper into this, like I said, in a future episode. But for now, just know this. If it's draining your energy, if it's clouding your worth, or pulling you into judgment, it is not aligned. Also, when I think of the time, I'm old, right? Not old, but I was here before we had cell phones. One of my very early on jobs was working for AirTouch Cellular, and they were one of the very first cellular companies in Los Angeles. So I was here before all of that. I was here prior to dating apps. I was here prior to pagers. So when I say this, I was also single when dating apps appeared, and I avoided them because I'm really social and I participate in a lot of things and I meet a lot of people. And through my career as a special events person and playing volleyball and doing all the things I loved, I was always meeting people. But there was a point in time where I was living in my hometown and I thought maybe the pond I was fishing in was too small. Everyone had dated everyone. So I thought maybe I need to meet a different kind of person. So I tried dating apps. And then of course, when I wrote my book, I tried them again. And when I was relationship coaching, I tried them just to stay current with what was happening. But what I felt was it was like a part-time job. It was literally taking so much of my time and so much of my energy and taking away from who I really wanted to be. And the truth is we are going to find our beautiful partners and our soulmates, if you want to call them that. And we're going to find really lasting, true connections when we're developing our own beautiful selves. So just kind of keep that in mind. Not that dating apps are bad. I have girlfriends that have beautiful, lasting relationships and married these men and had children with them that they met. But that was way back in the day. It's a little bit different algorithm. So, all right. If this is all speaking to you, then let's get real, one-on-one. If you are feeling off, if you've been If you've been questioning your confidence, your voice, your worth, you might be digitally misaligned. You're not weak. You're just being manipulated. I know that doesn't feel good to hear, and it's not a big deal. You can always gain your sovereignty back, and I'm going to help you with that. But here's the shift. Like I said, you can opt out. You can lead yourself. You can be liberated. You can stop being content and start being conscious. Sovereignty doesn't mean logging off forever. It means showing up on purpose with a purpose. Here is how you can reclaim your digital power. Action 1, curate your input. Mute, unfollow, and clear anything that drains your energy, your frequency, your fun, even if it's trendy or popular. Just unmute it and unfollow it. Action 2, break the loop. Take intentional breaks. Turn off notifications. Choose moments of stillness. I want to throw in there too, get out into nature. Get away from the electronics. Leave your phone on the counter and go on outside for a few minutes. Take some deep breaths and just see how it feels. Lean into what you hear out in the world. See how your heart feels when you're just free from all of that. I have so many young people around me right now that are doing so many amazing things, but it's absolutely amazing because they do not ever understand, right? A world without, maybe some of you don't understand a world without cell phones, without being attached to a device, without being able to hit the thing and have it tell us where the closest In-N-Out burger is, or directions to it, or maybe even the location of where your best friend is or your partner. We had a time, I guess that's why Gen X gets this rap. We had a time of total freedom and liberation where we weren't, I don't want to say slaves, but sort of, we didn't have any electronic devices. We were just freewheeling it and figuring things out and trying to decide like how to get to the next place and problem solve. So it is a bit of a different world. And it's very interesting to be a person of that generation and then interact with a newer generations. It's like, I just recall like talking to my grandma and she's like, we didn't even have TVs. So anyway, action 3 is to use tech to create, not to just consume. So record your own voice, share your own truth, connect with others meaningfully, set time limits and boundaries. So this is interesting because I have people around me who say, you use social media, you're on social media. Why are you preaching when you're using social media? All I'm going to say is I don't have 100% of control of myself when it comes to it. It is incredibly addictive. I do have to pull myself away. I do have to dig myself out of scroll holes just like everyone else. But I have a very distinct and deep intention when I post content or anything on social media. Everything is about inspiring and empowering first myself and then the listener or the person I'm sharing with or whoever it is that's drawn to it. So it's just a little bit of a shift. Just use it to create whatever it is that brings you joy. So let's just say, I'm just thinking of my nephew right now, and he's really into, and he's turning 15 in a couple days. So he's kind of leaning into teenagehood, and he's not super into his cell phone, but I mean, he doesn't even truly have a real cell phone, but he is just navigating some of these things. And it would be beautiful for him to have a page that really showcased all of his art that maybe he could parlay into a business at this young age, and maybe just inspiring other people to do art, whatever it is he's called to. My niece, she just turned 13 and she is very social and would love to be more active on her social media. And she rides horses, and she is a super powerful, charismatic, fearless beast of a girl, beast in a great way. I mean, like divine goddess energy, ready to go for it. And that's what she shares online. And it's really beautiful. I feel like it's so inspiring to be that age and already be a role model for others. Okay, so let's go ahead and just shake some of this off because all of this is a little bit much, right? It can feel kind of overwhelming. So let's go ahead and sink into a grounding moment. Let's just drop in for a quick reset. Go ahead and close your eyes, unless you're driving, of course. but go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. Place one hand over your heart and one over your belly. And just say to yourself quietly, my attention is mine. My energy is mine. I choose where I focus. I focus on what sets me free. My attention is mine. My energy is mine. I choose where I focus, and I focus on what sets me free. Again, my attention is mine. My energy is mine. I choose where I focus, and I focus on what sets me free. Go ahead. Take one more breath. Now that you're back in your body, you're back in your place of choice. Let's go ahead and throw in a few more affirmations. You can go ahead and write them down, or you can just say them with me. And the first one is, I use technology on purpose. I do not let it use me. I use technology on purpose. I do not let it use me. My frequency is not for sale. My precious frequency, it is not for sale. I choose content, connection, and creation that nourish my truth. I choose content, connection, and creation that nourish my truth. All right, kids, I know this was a little bit of a heavy one because I feel like in our hearts, we really see social media and dating and all of those things as fun, silly moments in our lives that are just really without meaning. But I really hope this caused you to sit for just a second with yourself to see how technology makes you feel, because this digital world, it isn't going away. But your sovereignty, that's what changes how you live in it. Let this episode be your permission slip to take back your energy. You are not a product. You are a creator, a leader, a sovereign soul. And the more you trust yourself, the harder you are to control. And just remember, this is all about control. They are wanting to divide us, to create hate, to label us, to pump political agendas. All of these things that we're taking in are used to divide us, because when we're divided, we are weak. We are insecure. We are without power. So the more you trust yourself and the more you take your sovereign choices and beliefs and share them with the world and step into your own power, the less they can control you. So next week, we're diving into bodily autonomy and sovereignty, how to tune back into your own body's wisdom, intuition, and healing power. You're starting to unplug from this digital noise. But what about the messages that you have absorbed in your own body? The ones that told you you needed fixing or taming or controlling, that your instincts couldn't be trusted. On social media, they're always telling us to try some diet, to try some vitamin, to stop drinking milk, stop eating gluten. Here's what you do if you're menopausal. Here's what you do if you just had a baby. Here's what you do if you're 100 pounds overweight. Here's what you do if you're underweight. It's all of the things. And then we're constantly seeing people who look and act certain ways, and they're trying to sell us, right? So just remember that you can trust your instincts. You were never broken. And next week, we are reclaiming your body, your intuition, and your unapologetic power from the inside out. This isn't about health. It is about sovereignty and liberation, the kind that starts in your cells and radiates into every choice you make. Because sovereign women, we shift the world. If this episode hit something in your soul, I'd love it if you hit the copy link and shared it with a friend. Follow the show so you don't miss anything. And I'd also so much appreciate a 5-star review or some comments or any kind of review that you're called to do that really talk about what resonated with you. I would love it if you followed me on socials or head over to our mailing list at lisashowenthal.com. Everything's at lisashowenthal.com. Everything I talk about, you can find on my website. So it's the easy way to go. You can always find links in my bio at the socials. So when you're over on my website, you can grab your journal for self-discovery and transformation. You can also, what's so exciting is check out La Vida Sagrada, the Sacred Life Retreat that Leah and I are hosting in Mexico in October 31st through November 6th. It's a celebration of sacred proportions over Dia de los Muertos. It's a cultural time where we honor the ancestors. I've talked about it in some of the other episodes. We're going to build altars, dance, dream, play with dolphins, sail into the sunset, and of course, relax while we're transforming, empowering, and inspiring authenticity together. Early bird discount ends July 15th. All you have to do is tap in the promo code Soul Sister and you get $400 off. Super affordable trip, super exciting. We have space limited for just 10. One spot is already sold, and we would love to spend time with you live and in person so that we can get to know you if we don't already, and we can start to create and collaborate together. It's very exciting. Until next week, I'm just sending you much love from me. See ya.